Boost your English.
From English Podcast with John.
Hey friends, how are you feeling today? We're so happy to have you here at English Podcast with John. Today we're going to talk about the topic, how to talk about your pets in English. We'll guide you step by step so you can start using English confidently in your daily life. Hey there, so glad we're back to do this lesson. How are you doing today?
Hello. I'm doing really well, thank you. And I hope everyone listening is feeling great and ready to learn with us.
I am doing excellent. And I'm really excited for today's topic. How about you? I feel like this is something everyone loves talking about. It's just such a great way to practice your English.
Me too. I really can't wait to get started. You're so right. Pets are, a perfect topic for everyday chats. It just makes people feel comfortable and happy when they're practicing.
I couldn't agree more. Now, before we jump right in, we just have a small, friendly request. If you find this lesson useful, please don't forget to subscribe. Maybe give it a like and share with your friends.
Yes, please. Your support honestly means so much to us. It really helps us create more lessons for you. And we really appreciate you being here. So thank you. Thank you for being the listener.
Okay, so let's get into our lesson structure. Just a reminder, today we're focusing on simple English sentences. They're perfect for A2 and B1 learners, so we're going to speak slowly and clearly. We want to give you all the time you need to listen, understand, and maybe even practice speaking along with us.
Exactly. We'll focus on those key phrases, some common expressions, and how to build those really simple but necessary sentences about your animals, whether it's a dog, a cat, a fish, or, maybe even a hamster or a lizard. The goal here is practical, everyday conversation.
Okay, so the first thing we need to get is that talking about pets is a fantastic way to start a friendly, casual conversation. We call this kind of light chat small talk. And small talk is, well, it's really important for meeting new people in English.
That's so true. Imagine you're meeting a new classmate, or maybe you see a neighbor walking a really cute puppy. You can just start a conversation so easily with this topic because, well, most people just love to talk about their animals.
Right. So we need to know the most basic question to open the topic. The first, and maybe the most important sentence we use, is about ownership. It uses the simple present tense, which, is for facts and habits. The structure is super simple. So, phrase 1, asking about ownership. Listen carefully, I'll say it slowly. Notice how it starts with do, which tells you it's a yes or no question. Do you have any pets?
So simple and clear. You can use that with anyone, anywhere. And I notice you use the word any. Any is so useful here, isn't it? It just means one or maybe more. It's very general.
Exactly. The question is just designed to get a simple yes or no. So for everyone listening, I want you to repeat this question twice. Say it with me nice and slowly. Really focus on the words. Do you have any pets? Do you have any pets?
Great job. And the answer to that question is usually really short. If the answer is yes, that they have a pet, they can just reply with a simple short answer. Yes, I do. I love my cat.
Or if the answer is no, if they don't have a pet, they can just say, no, I don't. But for today, let's assume the answer is yes. Okay, let's go to phrase 2, sharing brief ownership information. So if someone asks you that question and you say, yes, I do, the very next thing you'll probably do is tell them what kind of pet you have.
Yep. That's usually the first detail people share, and it just needs some simple, clear vocabulary.
The structure is really easy to remember. It's just subject plus have plus number plus pet type. So for example, if you have one dog, you just say, I have a dog.
And if you have more than one, you have to remember to use the plural form. For example, I have 3 cats. Don't forget that little chew day sound at the end of the noun. It's so important.
Very important point. Okay, let's practice a few examples. I'll say the sentence slowly twice. And you can repeat it. Just focus on that simple structure. I have a small bird. I have a small bird. Okay, now let's try one with 2 animals. Remember to really say that plural ears at the end. I have 2 pet rabbits. I have 2 pet rabbits.
That structure is really the foundation for the whole conversation. It tells the other person what you're talking about. Once you've done that, you can move on to more specific details.
Yep. And remember, if you have a few different kinds of pets, you can just list them with the word and. For example, I have a dog, a cat, and 3 fish. Just put and right before the last one in the list. So once you know someone has a pet, you naturally want to know more. This is how you keep that friendly small talk going. So this next section is all about those common questions that come next.
Right. These questions help you continue the conversation and show you're actually interested. It's just a great way to practice your English fluency.
Okay, question pattern 1. Type of pet. This is usually the very first detail people ask for. If someone says, yes, I have a pet, the most common next question is, What kind of pet do you have?
And this question is asking for the species of the animal. Is it a common pet like a hamster? Or maybe something a little more unusual like a parrot?
Listen to that question one more time, nice and slow. Pay attention to the stress. What kind of pet do you have? Now for the answer. If someone asked me this, I would probably be specific about the animal and maybe the breed if it's a dog or cat.
Right. For example, I might say, I have a small dog. It's a beagle.
Okay, so did you hear that? She used the word it to talk about the dog. Using it is totally correct for animals. We'll talk about using he or she a bit later, but starting with it is perfectly fine. Let's practice answering that. Imagine you have a turtle. Try repeating this answer twice. I have a reptile. It's a turtle. I have a reptile. It's a turtle. All right, on to question pattern 2. Name and age. After you know the type of pet, you usually want to know its name. That's a personal detail. So we ask, what is your pet's name? And then for the age, we use how. How old is your pet?
These are great for sharing personal details. The name question uses that possessive as structure. What is your pet's name?
Okay, let's try a quick little dialogue with these questions. Listen closely to how we change the pronouns.
What is your pet's name?
Her name is Luna.
How old is she?
She is 4 years old.
All right.
See? That structure for age is super simple. It just uses the verb to be. You say, he shit is 8 years old. You always have to use the verb is.
And remember, in really casual conversation, you can sometimes just leave out years old. You could just say, he is 4. But it's clearer to say the full phrase, especially when you're learning.
Okay, let's practice the answer for age. Imagine your pet is 12, and it's a male, so we'll use he. Repeat this twice with me. He is 12 years old. He is 12 years old. Now, what if your pet is a fish that's only 1 year old? We often don't give a gender to a fish, so let's just use it. Repeat this twice. It is 1 year old. It is 1 year old.
The key here is just to be consistent. If you start using he for the name, you should probably keep using he when you talk about the age so you don't confuse anyone.
All right, question pattern 3. Using modal verbs, can't. This is where it gets really fun because we get to talk about action. We use the modal verb can to talk about what a pet is able to do. Its skills or tricks.
Oh, yeah. And modal verbs are easy because they don't change. The structure for the question is really straightforward. Can plus subject plus base verb. Remember, after can, the verb never, ever changes. No as at the end.
Right. We often ask about tricks or specific actions. Listen to this example question. Can your cat open doors?
That's a great question. And the answer, of course, starts with yes or no. Then you use can for a positive ability and cannot or can't for a negative one. For example, yes, he can sit and shake hands, but he cannot fetch.
That's a perfect way to use both in one sentence. So let's practice saying a full sentence about what a pet can do. Imagine you have a bird that can sing a lot. We'll use can. Repeat this twice, nice and clear. My bird can sing many songs. My bird can sing many songs. Now for the negative. Let's imagine your pet is a small pet that can't run very fast. We'll use the short form can't, which we use a lot in spoken English. Repeat this 2 times. My guinea pig can't run very fast. My guinea pig can't run very fast.
Yeah, and you'll notice can't is said a bit quicker than cannot. Cannot is a little more formal, but really both are correct.
And you can ask other things with can, too, like, can your pet sleep all day? Or with a question word, how high can your dog jump? These sentences are just so useful for describing what your pet does. Now that we know how to ask the basics and talk about actions, let's move on to descriptive language. When you talk about your pet, you need to describe 2 things: what they look like, their appearance, and their personality.
Exactly. And when we describe, we use a lot of simple adjectives. For A2 and B1 English, just keep your vocabulary simple. Using simple words correctly is so much better than using complex words the wrong way.
Phrase set 1. Describing appearance. So this is about size, color, and specific features. We use the verbs is and has. Some simple adjectives for size could be big, small, tiny. For color, black, white, brown, gray, the basics. We use 2 main sentence structures. First, for the overall look, we use to be. My pet is adjective. Second, to talk about a specific body part it has, we use to have. My pet has feature.
Let's hear some slow examples of both of those.
My cat is black and white. So that describes the color using is. Now repeat that one with me twice. My cat is black and white. My cat is black and white. Okay, another example, this time using has for a feature. My dog has long ears. This describes a body part it possesses. Let's repeat that one twice. My dog has long ears. My dog has long ears.
And you can often put those 2 ideas together in one sentence. It makes your English sound a bit richer. For example, my fish is very small and has a long tail.
That's a perfect combination. Just remember the simple rule.
Hmm?
If you use has, you're talking about something it possesses. If you use is, you're describing a general quality, like its color or size. Okay, phrase set 2. Describing personality. This is so important because our pets are like family members and we want to share their unique personalities.
Oh, definitely. Describing personality is how you share that emotional connection you have with your pet.
We use simple adjectives like friendly, which means they like people, playful, meaning they like to play, sleepy, well, they like to sleep, noisy, meaning they make a lot of noise, or calm, meaning they're quiet and relaxed. We can also use naughty. Naughty just means they're sometimes a little bit bad, but in a cute or funny way, like stealing your food. And the structure is still very simple. My pet is very personality trait. We often add very introfiction just to make the description stronger. I'll say a few examples slowly. Just listen for the structure and the vocabulary. My dog is very playful. My parrot is noisy. My snake is usually calm. All right, let's try a mini dialogue practice using both appearance and personality. I'll ask about your pet, and my co-host here will answer. Just listen to the flow. So tell me about your cat. What does she look like?
She is small and black, and she has these beautiful green eyes.
Oh, that's wonderful. And what about her personality? Is she friendly?
Well, she's very sleepy in the morning, so she rests a lot. But in the evening, she gets really playful. She loves to run around and chase her toys.
See, that shows how easily you can switch between talking about appearance and personality. It gives a really complete picture of your pet. Okay, phrase set 3. Talking about pet care. When we talk about our pets, we often talk about the responsibilities, what we do to take care of them. This means using action verbs, usually in the simple present tense for habits or simple past for things you already did.
Some simple care actions are feed, walk, play with, groom, or clean the cage. And remember, most of these verbs are regular, which makes the past tense easy.
Let's start with a present habit. This is for things you do all the time, like every day.
Yeah.
I verb my pet frequency. For example, I feed my pet twice a day. This is a routine. I want you to repeat that one slowly, twice. Let's focus on the verb feed. I feed my pet twice a day. I feed my pet twice a day.
You could also talk about playing or training, like I play with my kitten every afternoon. Or maybe I brush my dog every week.
Now let's try the simple past tense for an action you already finished, maybe yesterday. For regular verbs, we just add that ed ending. For example, yesterday I walked my dog for an hour.
And notice how walk changes to walked. That ed sound is really important for people to understand you're talking about the past.
Right. Or if you're talking about cleaning, you could say, I cleaned the bird cage this morning.
Okay, let's practice that past tense example. Repeat it slowly twice and really focus on that ed sound in walked.
Yesterday, I walked my dog for an hour. Yesterday, I walked my dog for an hour. These structures are so helpful for giving details about your daily routine with your pet. Now let's move to a quick section on cultural tips. These are just small conversational details that can help your English sound more natural and, well, more comfortable.
Yeah, these little things can make your English sound more friendly and personal.
Cultural tip 1. Using pronouns.
Yeah.
So we mentioned using it earlier, and that's always grammatically safe. But when we really love our pets, we often treat them like members of the family.
Exactly. And because they're so beloved, native speakers will almost always use he or she instead of it. It just makes the conversation sound so much warmer and shows your affection.
For example, if you're talking about your male dog, instead of saying, it is sleeping, we would usually say, he is sleeping on the couch.
Right. Now, if you don't know the pet's gender, or if it's, an animal like a fish, using it is still totally correct. But for dogs and cats, he or she is very, very common.
So let's practice that shift. Repeat this sentence with me using the personal pronoun she. She is playing with her favorite toy. She is playing with her favorite toy. Okay, cultural tip 2. Common idiomatic phrases. We want to teach you one really simple phrase about affection that's super common and easy to use.
Oh yeah, this phrase is perfect for when you want to show a lot of love.
The phrase is, I love my pet to pieces.
To pieces is just a simple way of saying very, very much. It means your love is so big and strong, it's a phrase for huge affection.
Exactly. We use it to show that extreme affection. So if someone asks how you feel about your turtle, you can say, I love my turtle to pieces. Let's have you repeat this lovely phrase slowly twice. Try to practice the rhythm and maybe even the emotion behind it. I love my pet to pieces. I love my pet to pieces.
You should use that one when you really want to show how much you care for your pet.
Final speaking prompt review exercise. Okay, everyone, it is time for our final practice. We've covered a lot of sentences today.
This is your chance to put it all together into a little mini speech.
So try to tell us 3 things about your pet using the sentences you learned. Say the answers out loud to yourself right now. Number 1, start by telling us what kind of pet you have and its name. Use that I have structure. Number 2, next, tell us one thing about its appearance or personality using is or has. And finally, number 3, tell us one thing it can or cannot do using can or can't.
Go ahead, take a moment now. Think about your answers. You can say the full sentences out loud or even write them down. We'll give you a few seconds to organize your thoughts. Pause for 15 seconds.
This is your chance to put the sentences together naturally, just like in a real conversation. Remember to speak slowly and clearly.
Fantastic. We really hope you were able to build those sentences. And if you need more time, remember you can always pause the lesson and practice a bit more. That's really the best way to learn.
And that brings us to the end of today's lesson. We covered how to talk about pets simply and clearly, using those basic structures for ownership, descriptions, and actions.
You now have the fundamental vocabulary in sentences, the simple present, the simple past, and using can to confidently start a conversation about animals. You should be really proud of your progress.
Now for our call to action. We really encourage you to practice right now. Tell us about your pet in the comments. You can use the structure we reviewed. I have a pet type. Hish or name his name, and Hish is very adjective. We would absolutely love to read about your amazing animals.
Yes, practicing every day is the key. Listen to English lessons, try to speak out loud whenever you can, and just stay consistent. Every single time you practice, you get a little bit better.
Thank you so much for joining us for today's lesson. We really do love having you with us. And remember, if you found this lesson useful, don't forget to like it, subscribe to the channel, and maybe share it with some friends who are also learning English.
We will be back very soon with more lessons to help you use English confidently and happily in your life. Keep practicing and stay motivated.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
That was a fun one. Talk to you next time.
Goodbye. See you soon. And keep up that great energy.